Hello everyone, good evening. Am I audible and visible? Somebody please ping me so that I can begin with today's short and important topic, that is Battle of Plassey. Yes guys, am I audible and visible? Somebody please ping me. Good evening to all of you. Hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. Just hold on for a second and then we'll begin our today's topic. Okay, so friends, yes Meghalaya, good evening. Rishi ji, very good evening. Okay, thanks a lot Meghalaya. So my friends, today we are going to discuss one of the most important topics or one of the most iconic battles, and that was referred as Battle of Plassey. Okay, and the Battle of Plassey that I'm explaining you right now has been taken from a book referred as From Plassey to Partition. This book was written by Shekhar Bandopadhyay ji. Is that clear? Yes, Kaizen, very good evening. So guys, you have to listen to me very carefully, very patiently, because I'll be explaining the things in a gradual step-by-step manner in the format of a story. Correct? So you have to listen to me very patiently because to understand the important characters, okay, like who was Siraj-ud-Daulah, like specifically who was Murshid Quli Khan, then who was Ali Vardi Khan, how did Siraj-ud-Daulah come to power, who was Mir Jafar, who was later on made as the Nawab of Bengal, and probably he worked as a puppet for English East India Company in the coming years. So you have to pay attention carefully, my friends, because if you understand the Battle of Plassey properly, then and then you will be able to understand the Battle of Buxar, which was fought in 1764. Is that clear to all of you? So, my friends, I have already covered ancient India, medieval India, and modern Indian history. But there were vivid aspects of modern Indian history which were not yet covered, and which included the important key battles. So that part I'm covering within the next 10 to 15 sessions. Is it okay? So my friends, without wasting any more time, let's begin our today's short session. And please listen to me carefully, pay attention carefully. 100% all your doubts will get clear. Okay? So let's begin our today's session. Battle of Plassey. Now, before we understand about who was Murshid Quli Khan and what was the role played by Murshid Quli Khan, let's understand about the Mughals in short. Okay. 2027 batch, Mabok, it will be starting on 6th of June. Very soon it is going to start. Okay. On 6th of June, the batches are going to start. Is it clear, Mabok ji? Okay. Now, the foundation of Mughal Empire was laid down by Babur. Babur, it's a Persian word which basically means tiger. And precisely it is said that Babur, he fought the first battle of Panipat in India and he laid the foundation of Mughal dynasty. The first battle of Panipat was fought between Babur and Ibrahim Lodi. And precisely speaking, many historians do believe that Babur had a small force of 10 to 15,000. On the other hand, the forces of Ibrahim Lodi, it included approximately 1 lakh to 1,10,000. But still Babur was successful. Why? Because Babur had deployed a technique which was referred as Rumi technique or Tuluguma technique or Arba system. Babur continuously fought 4 battles in India and he died in 1530 at the age of 47. Correct? Now Babur was succeeded by his son whose name was Humayun. Humayun, again, it's a Persian word which basically means fortune. But as per many historians, he is considered as the most unfortunate ruler of the entire Mughal dynasty. Why? Because during the tenure of Humayun, or during the reign of Humayun, rather than saying tenure, during the reign of Humayun, there was a political vacuum from 1540 to 1555. That is for a span of 15 years. Why? Because there was an establishment of another important dynasty which was referred as Sur dynasty, which was established by Farid or Sher Khan or Sher Shah Suri. So after Humayun comes the most important ruler of the entire Mughal dynasty, whose name was Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar. And during the time of Jalaluddin Muhammad Akbar, the territory of Mughals increased by leaps and bounds. After him comes to power his son Nuruddin Muhammad Salim, oftenly referred as Jahangir. Jahangir was a title adopted by him, which basically means conqueror of the world. And then finally comes Shah Jahan. The reign of Shah Jahan is also referred as Golden Age of Mughal architecture. Now, one more point to be noted. During the time of Shah Jahan, the territories of Mughals had expanded by leaps and bounds. Okay? Yes, Cherry, good evening. So, the territories had expanded by leaps and bounds, and there were approximately 15 to 18 provincial, there were 15 to 18 provinces. So, very simple words, specifically, the Mughal Empire covered a vast territory of northern part of India. And to manage this vast territory, it was divided into different provinces. So, these provinces were referred as Suba. Okay? And there were different provincial governors being appointed to govern these Suba or to govern these provinces. And these provincial governors were referred as Subedar. At that time, Bengal Suba was considered as the richest Suba. Precisely speaking, during the time of Shah Jahan, like approximately he ruled from 1628 to 1658. It is believed that during the time of Shah Jahan, Bengal Suba was considered as the richest Suba, and it encompassed the region of Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, and specifically Bangladesh. And 60 to 70% of the trade at that time, it took place just from the region of Bengal. Hence, it was considered as the richest Suba. Now, English East India Company, they approached Shah Shuja. Who was Shah Shuja? During the reign of Shah Jahan, Shah Shuja was the Subedar, or Shah Shuja was the governor of Bengal. Please listen to me patiently, okay? Then and then you will understand the Battle of Plassey. So during the time of Shah Jahan, Shah Shuja was a provincial governor of Bengal. He was a Subedar of Bengal. English East India Company approached Shah Shuja and said, please give us a permission to establish factory in region of Bengal. Shah Shuja said, okay, I'll give you the permission to establish factory in Bengal, but what will we get back in return? So English East India Company said, we will give you 3,000 rupees per annum to trade in Bengal. And this was accepted by Shah Shuja. 3,000 rupees this was accepted by English East India Company. Okay. And with the passage of time, English East India Company established many factories in the region of Bengal. Like they established factory at Hooghly, Hijli, Midnapur, Kasim Bazar, and so on. Now, after the death of Shah Jahan comes to power his son Alamgir. Alamgir is also referred as Aurangzeb. And during the time of Aurangzeb, Shah Shuja was not the Subedar of Bengal. He was not the governor of Bengal. Now, the new governor of Bengal was Shaista Khan. Okay. Now, during the time of Shaista Khan, initially the English East India Company was ousted from Bengal. But there was an officer of English East India Company whose name was Sir Job Charnock. He requests Shaista Khan that please give us a permission to settle down in the region of Bengal. And in 1698, Sir Job Charnock, one of the agents of English East India Company, purchased the zamindari rights of Govindpur, Sutanuti and Kalikata from the zamindars by paying 1200 rupees to them. Okay. So at that point of time, this region was later elevated to the level of a presidency, which was referred as Calcutta Presidency or Bengal Presidency. Clear till here? Now let's move in the story. Let's move with the further part of the story. Aurangzeb, he died approximately in 1707. And when Aurangzeb died in 1707, there were a series of weak successors. Like precisely speaking, the successors of Aurangzeb were not that strong. They could not hold the command over a wider region. And Mughal Empire started getting splintered. Okay. Like it is said that specifically after the death of Aurangzeb, there were distant governors who started declaring their independence. And yesterday we had seen one of the example, Nizam of Hyderabad, who declared his independence approximately around 1724. Later on, Nawab of Bengal. After some time, Nawab of Awadh. Why? Because the control of the later Mughal rulers started weakening over a wider region. So the provincial governors started declaring their independence in their region. Okay. Now, after Aurangzeb comes to power, Bahadur Shah I. After Bahadur Shah I comes to power Farooq Siyar. And Farooq Siyar ruled from 1713 to 1719. Now, what did Farooq Siyar do? During the time of Farooq Siyar, you have to remember two important things. First important thing, Farooq Siyar made Murshid Quli Khan as the new governor of Bengal. He made Murshid Quli Khan as the new Subedar of Bengal. And Murshid Quli Khan, the first step he took was to transfer the capital. He shifted the capital from Dhaka to Murshidabad. And the most important thing, like as we have seen previously as well, English East India had come to India precisely to trade in India. But with the passage of time, they had started dictating terms and conditions to the Indian rulers. And this we had seen in the Anglo-Carnatic Wars. So what happened here? Like it is said that English East India Company had gained so much trust of Farooq Siyar that in 1717, please remember this, in 1717, Farooq Siyar has granted the royal farman to English East India Company. He has given dastak to English East India Company. Now, what is dastak? Dastak basically means free trade passes. English East India Company, if you want to trade in the region of Bengal, you need not take permission from anyone. That is dastak. That is a royal farman that was granted by Farooq Siyar to English East India Company. And in the coming years, the merchants of English East India Company will misuse these dastak. So, after Aurangzeb, Bahadur Shah I comes to power. After Bahadur Shah I, Farooq Siyar comes to power, who makes Murshid Quli Khan as the new Subedar of Bengal or as the new governor of Bengal. He granted the royal farman to English East India Company. He gave dastak or free trade passes to English East India Company that if you want to trade in the region of Bengal, you need not take permission from anyone. Correct? Moving ahead. After Farooq Siyar comes to power, Muhammad Shah Rangila. And Muhammad Shah Rangila, he was a completely incompetent ruler. In fact, during the time of Muhammad Shah Rangila as well, Murshid Quli Khan was the Subedar of Bengal. So Murshid Quli Khan initially was a Subedar of Bengal or was made as a Subedar of Bengal during the time of Farooq Siyar. And he remained the Subedar of Bengal even during the time of Muhammad Shah Rangila. As I have told you previously itself that this person, Muhammad Shah Rangila, was an incompetent ruler. And since he was an incompetent ruler, he could not hold the command over the legion for a longer span of time. This was seen as one of the best opportunities by Murshid Quli Khan to declare his independence. And during the time of Muhammad Shah Rangila, Murshid Quli Khan declared himself as independent and declared himself as the new Nawab of Bengal. Okay? So this is the first part of the story. So you have to understand every part of the story so that you can understand the entire Battle of Plassey in depth and detail. I'll repeat the points again within short. Please pay attention carefully. After the death of Aurangzeb in 1707, there were a series of weak successors. First one was Bahadur Shah I. He was succeeded by Farooq Siyar. Farooq Siyar made Murshid Quli Khan as the governor of Bengal. Okay? Murshid Quli Khan, he shifted the capital from Dhaka to Murshidabad. Most important point that needs to be remembered. Later on, it is said that this person, Murshid Quli Khan, he was also the governor during the time of Muhammad Shah Rangila. And since Muhammad Shah Rangila was an incompetent ruler, this was seen as one of the best opportunity by Murshid Quli Khan to declare his independence. And he declared himself as the new Nawab of Bengal. So, Murshid Quli Khan is now Nawab of Bengal. Clear? Moving with further part of the story. Now, why English East India Company benefited from the trade? If you observe that it was not just English East India Company that were having the factories in Bengal. In fact, French East India Company, Dutch East India Company, they were also having the factories in Bengal. And precisely on the banks of river Hooghly, which was a tributary of river Ganga. Okay, so English East India Company was having a factory at Calcutta. On the other hand, French East India Company were having the factory at Chandan Nagar, specifically on the banks of river Hooghly. On the other hand, Dutch East India Company had their factory at specifically Chinsura. So all the three European companies had their factories on the banks of river Hooghly. Clear? Now what happened further? Since all of them had their factories on the banks of river Hooghly, for example, if any of the Dutch ship is entering into the river Hooghly, okay, so first of all, they will go through Calcutta. From Calcutta, they will go to Chandannagar. From Chandannagar, they will go to specifically the place Chinsura. So any of the ships entering into the river Hooghly, first of all, they have to go through the territories or the factories of English East India Company. And hence, English East India Company benefited a lot from the trade. Clear? So as we have seen, Murshid Quli Khan, he had become the new Nawab of Bengal. And Murshid Quli Khan, he ruled from 1723, it is not 1713, 1723 to 1727. Now Murshid Quli Khan, he was succeeded by his son-in-law, whose name was Shuja-ud-Din Khan. And Shuja-ud-Din Khan specifically, he ruled from 1727 to 1739. Now after Shuja-ud-Din Khan, the next Nawab of Bengal was Sarfaraz Khan. And who was Sarfaraz Khan? Sarfaraz Khan was son of Murshid Quli Khan. Now the very basic question that arrives in the mind of every aspirant, why did Sarfaraz Khan directly not succeed after Murshid Quli Khan? Because he was minor at that time. So Murshid Quli Khan was succeeded as Nawab of Bengal by his son-in-law, whose name was Shuja-ud-Din Khan. Shuja-ud-Din Khan was succeeded as a new Nawab of Bengal by the son of Murshid Quli Khan, whose name was Sarfaraz Khan. Now, as we had seen, Murshid Quli Khan, he was a person of daring and determination. He was a person of intellect, and he had a good control over the region of Bengal. Hence, he dared to declare himself as the independent Nawab of Bengal. But his son, Sarfaraz Khan, was a completely incompetent ruler. Completely incompetent ruler. And Sarfaraz Khan had a military commander whose name was Ali Vardi Khan. So Ali Vardi Khan, who was specifically the military commander of Sarfaraz Khan, killed his own master. Hence, I have told you in the start itself, please listen to me patiently, please listen to me gradually if you have to understand the Battle of Plassey in a crystal clear manner. Okay? I'll repeat the point again. During the time of Farrukhsiyar, Murshid Quli Khan was made as the governor of Bengal. In fact, he remained the governor of Bengal even during the time of Muhammad Shah Rangila. But Muhammad Shah Rangila was incompetent. So he declared his independence and Murshid Quli Khan became the Nawab of Bengal. After Murshid Quli Khan, the next Nawab of Bengal was his son-in-law. His son-in-law was Shuja-ud-Din Khan. Now after Shuja-ud-Din Khan comes to power whom? The son of Murshid Quli Khan, whose name was Sarfaraz Khan. Okay? And Sarfaraz Khan was a completely incompetent ruler. He could not take care of the administration properly. So, specifically speaking, since he could not take care of the administration properly, specifically Sarfaraz Khan was killed by his own military commander, whose name was Ali Vardi Khan. Point is clear till here? Please answer in the comment section. Is the point clear till here? Is the story clear till here? Then I'll move with the further part of the story. Okay? Now, Ali Vardi Khan, he has become the new Nawab of Bengal. Now, when Ali Vardi Khan became the new Nawab of Bengal, at that time, Marathas were expanding their territories by leaps and bounds. Continuously, Marathas were expanding their territories. Okay? And Marathas had one taxation system, and that was referred as Chauth. Now, what is Chauth? In very simple words, if you do not want Marathas to attack on your territories, you have to pay 1/4 of your annual revenue as a tribute to Marathas. And that is referred as Chauth. And as we have discussed previously, Marathas were continuously expanding their territories. So Marathas probably can have an eye over the region of Bengal. So this person, Ali Vardi Khan, he wanted to purchase peace from Marathas. So he became very cautious. So what did he do? He became ready to pay chauth to the Marathas. He said to the Marathas, please do not attack the region of Bengal. I'll be paying 1/4 of the annual tribute to you. And secondly, this person Ali Vardi Khan also gave the province of Odisha to the Marathas. So now the province of Odisha is under the control of Marathas. Okay. So if Ali Vardi Khan thought that Marathas can raid the territories of Bengal, Marathas can also raid the territories of French East India Company. Marathas can also raid the territories of Dutch East India Company and English East India Company. So English East India Company also had a fear in their mind. So what did English East India Company do? English East India Company started fortifying their factories and constructed Fort William. Similarly, French East India Company also started fortifying their factories. Dutch East India Company also started fortifying their factories. All of them started fortifying their factories. And this was not at all liked by Ali Vardi Khan. Why this was not liked by Ali Vardi Khan? First of all, you are fortifying the factories. Have you taken the permission of Nawab of Bengal? And secondly, like this person, Ali Vardi Khan was quite well aware about one important fact. What did the French East India Company do in the Anglo-Carnatic Wars? Or precisely, what did these people, what were they doing specifically in the Carnatic region? That is English East India Company and the French East India Company. So he did not wanted any colonial power to dominate the region of Bengal. So he did not like the fortification efforts of any European company, but he could not do anything. Why he could not do anything? Because of his advancing age. And the second major problem in front of Ali Vardi Khan was whom to choose as the next Nawab of Bengal. Whom to choose as his successor. Why? Because Ali Vardi Khan did not had any sons. He had 3 daughters. So, specifically Ali Vardi Khan had 3 daughters and he had a military commander whose name was Mir Jafar. So, the very basic question in front of Ali Vardi Khan was to whom to choose the successor, because he had no son. So, at that point of time, his military commander Mir Jafar was very happy. Why Mir Jafar was very happy? Because Mir Jafar knew one thing. This person, Ali Vardi Khan, he has no sons. I am the military commander. So, probably after him, I will become the next Nawab of Bengal. So, this is called as daydreaming. Okay. So, this person, Mir Jafar, who was the military commander of Ali Vardi Khan, was dreaming of becoming the next Nawab of Bengal. Now, as I've told you previously, that this person, Ali Vardi Khan, had 3 daughters. The son of his eldest daughter was Shaukat Jung. And the son of his youngest daughter was Siraj-ud-Daulah. Now, this person, Ali Vardi Khan, he declared Siraj-ud-Daulah as the next Nawab of Bengal. And when Siraj-ud-Daulah was declared as the next Nawab of Bengal, he was just 21 years of age. Just 21 years. Okay. Now, this was not at all liked by his elder daughter, whose name was Gasti Begum. Okay. And this was also not liked by Shaukat Jung, who was son of Gasti Begum. Okay. Because Gasti Begum thought that the next Nawab of Bengal would be his son, Shaukat Jung. But Ali Vardi Khan has declared whom as the next Nawab? Siraj-ud-Daulah. So obviously there is going to be a battle between both of them. On the other hand, this person, Mir Jafar, he thought that I would become the next Nawab of Bengal. Correct? So what happened? Mir Jafar, Gasti Begum and Shaukat Jung created a triple alliance. Triple alliance against whom? Siraj-ud-Daulah. Now Siraj-ud-Daulah, although he was just 21 years of age, okay, but still he was he was a person with determination. He was a person with daring. He defeated all the 3. It is said that he imprisoned Gasti Begum, Shaukat Jung was killed, and this person, Mir Jafar, finally apologized in front of Siraj-ud-Daulah and said, I am really sorry, I won't be attacking you again. Please give me the post of military commander again in your army. So after a formal apology, it is said that Mir Jafar was again made as a military commander for Siraj-ud-Daulah. So very simple words, Mir Jafar was initially the military commander for his grandfather, that is Ali Vardi Khan. And again he has become the, what we say, military commander for Siraj-ud-Daulah. Please remember the role of Mir Jafar. Okay, and please remember one thing. History has taught one important aspect, that never ever leave your enemy half dead. Correct? Some or the other manner he is going to again attack you. So please just remember the name of Mir Jafar. Okay? Now what happened further? Let's understand. Now who has become the next Nawab of Bengal? The next Nawab of Bengal is Siraj-ud-Daulah. Is the story clear till here? Please answer in the comment section. Do you want me to repeat any point? I don't have any problem in repeating the point, but the concept should be crystal clear. Hope so the points are clear to all of you. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to discuss third battle of Panipat. And after that we'll be discussing the series of Anglo-Mysore Wars and so on. Okay, Meghalaya, thank you. Now let's understand further what happened further. Let's understand with the story. Okay, thank you, Meghalaya. Okay. Now, Siraj-ud-Daulah, he has become the new Nawab of Bengal. And Mir Jafar is the military commander for Siraj-ud-Daulah. As we have seen from the time of Ali Vardi Khan itself, what happened? All the European companies had started their fortification efforts. And Ali Vardi Khan did not like this, but he could not do anything because of his advancing age. But now Siraj-ud-Daulah, he has come to power. He was a person of daring and determination. And immediately he asked all the European companies to dismantle their forts within next 4 to 6 months. So Siraj-ud-Daulah ordered all the European companies. It was not just English East India Company. He ordered all the European companies, start dismantling your forts. Rather it be French East India Company, Dutch East India Company or English East India Company. So French East India Company and Dutch East India Company followed the orders of Siraj-ud-Daulah. They dismantled their forts. But English East India Company was not at all ready to dismantle their forts. And Siraj-ud-Daulah now got infuriated and he now wanted to teach a lesson to English East India Company. So in 1756, Siraj-ud-Daulah directly attacked the Fort William. Okay, he directly attacked Fort William. And at that time, the president of Fort William was Robert Drake. The attack was so brutal that it is believed that Robert Drake, he fled away from Fort William and he moved to Fulta Islands, which is located approximately 33 kilometers to 35 kilometers from Fort William. So Robert Drake, he fled away from Fort William. And who was remaining? Like there were approximately 146 members remaining in the Fort William. So the president of Fort William, Robert Drake, has already fled away. So these 146 members, they chose Holwell as their new president of Fort William. But specifically speaking, this time Siraj-ud-Daulah was not at all in a conciliatory mood. He confined these 146 members, including Holwell, in a very small room in the scorching heat of June. Okay, and as per many historians, the room was approximately 18 square feet to 22 square feet. And out of 146 members, only 23 survived and the rest of them died due to suffocation. And this event in the history of modern India as a part of Battle of Plassey is referred as Black Hole Tragedy. And precisely speaking, this person, Siraj-ud-Daulah, he renamed Calcutta as Alinagar. Why? Because Ali Vardi Khan was the name of his grandfather, maternal grandfather. Correct? So he renamed Calcutta to Alinagar. I'll repeat the points again within short. Pay attention carefully. Siraj-ud-Daulah, he ordered all the European companies to dismantle their forts. French East India Company dismantled their forts. Dutch East India Company dismantled their forts. But English East India Company did not do that. Siraj-ud-Daulah attacked Fort William, and at that time the president of Fort William was Robert Drake. He fled away from Fort William and he came to Fulta Islands, which is approximately 33 to 34 kilometers from Fort William. So approximately there were 146 members remaining in the Fort William. So they chose Holwell as the next president of the Fort William. Clear? Now, it is believed that This time, this person was not at all in a consolatory mood. In the month of June, approximately 146 members, including Hallwell, were confined in a small room of 18 to 22 square feet. And only 23 survived. The rest of them died due to suffocation. And this event as a part of what? This event as a part of specifically Battle of Plassey is referred as Black Hole Tragedy. Okay. Meghalaya, it was a grandfather. Why? As I've told you previously, Siraj, like Ali Vardi Khan's daughter was, he had 3 daughters. So, specifically, Siraj-ud-Daulah was a son of 3rd daughter. So, specifically speaking, Siraj-ud-Daulah, it is like he's a grandson of this person, Ali Vardi Khan. Is that clear? Coming back to this topic now. This is referred as Black Hole Tragedy. And this news spread like a wildfire. Okay. And when the news spread like a wildfire, what happened? At that time, the forces came from Fort St. George because the news reached the Fort St. George in Madras. Immediately from Madras, the forces came, which was headed by Robert Clive and Admiral Watson. They came up with huge forces. And when they came up with huge forces, they directly attacked the Fort William, which was under the control of Siraj-ud-Daulah now. And later on, Siraj-ud-Daulah was ready to sign a peace treaty with Robert Clive. And that peace treaty was referred as Treaty of Alinagar, which was signed in 1757. So please remember this. The forces arrived from Fort St. George. Clear? And when the forces arrived from Fort St. George, finally, Treaty of Alinagar was being signed. Specifically speaking, the forces were led by Robert Clive and Admiral Watson. Another important question that crops up the mind of every aspirant here is, as I've told you, Siraj-ud-Daulah was not at all in a consolatory mood. Now what happened that he's ready specifically to sign a Treaty of Alinagar with Robert Clive? It is believed that at that time, Ahmad Shah Abdali, he had conquered the major parts of Sindh, Lahore, Multan, Kashmir, and he had also sacked the region around Delhi. And there were rumors that Ahmad Shah Abdali, with the help of Nawab of Awadh and Rohillas, probably might advance towards the region of Bihar and Bengal. So, at this particular point of time, Siraj-ud-Daulah was not at all ready for this. So, he thought that it is better to sign a peace treaty with English East India Company because he cannot handle 2 enemies at a time. So, he signed Treaty of Alinagar. Now, as a part of Treaty of Alinagar, English East India Company, specifically Robert Clive, convinced this person, Siraj-ud-Daulah, that we want there should be one person who will stay in your court as a British resident. And his only duty is to maintain friendly relations between English East India Company and the Nawab of Bengal. So Siraj-ud-Daulah said, I don't have any problem with that. So a person was chosen who will stay in the court of Siraj-ud-Daulah, and his name was William Watts. Okay. So Robert Clive, he has convinced Siraj-ud-Daulah that William Watts would be staying in your court as a British resident, and the basic purpose is that kind of a friendly relations should be maintained. He said, I don't have any problem with that. But what was the actual intrinsic hidden agenda of the Britishers? What was the actual responsibility that was entrusted to William Watts? The actual responsibility given to William Watts was go and find the traitor in the court of this person, Siraj-ud-Daulah. Go and find the person who can betray Siraj-ud-Daulah. And if you remember one name we had discussed, during the time of Ali Vardi Khan, his military commander was aspiring to become the next Nawab of Bengal, but he could not become. Why? Because Ali Vardi Khan had chosen 21 years old grandson Siraj-ud-Daulah as his next successor. So Mir Jafar can become a potential traitor, and that came true. William Watts comes to know about this, and William Watts, he finds a traitor, Mir Jafar, and with the help of Mir Jafar, he finds other traitors who are ready to betray Siraj-ud-Daulah, such as there was a banker named as Jagat Seth, there was another person named as Rai Durlabh, another person named as Omi Chand. So Omi Chand, Mir Jafar, Rai Durlabh, Jagat Seth, all of them were ready to betray Siraj-ud-Daulah. This was seen as one of the best opportunity by William Watts, and he immediately informed Robert Clive. Robert Clive falsely accused Siraj-ud-Daulah of breaching the Treaty of Alinagar, which was signed in 1757. Now, Siraj-ud-Daulah said, I haven't done any mistake. But at this point of time, as we had discussed previously, English East India Company was waiting for this opportunity. And this was seen as one of the best opportunity by English East India Company. Finally, Battle of Plassey was fought in 1757. Okay. So the forces of English East India Company and Siraj-ud-Daulah met on the battlefield of Battle of Plassey. At that particular point of time, Siraj-ud-Daulah was very confident. He was very confident that I will win this battle. Why? Because he had a huge force in comparison to English East India Company. So when they entered into the battlefield, this person, Siraj-ud-Daulah, asked Mir Jafar, his military commander, why aren't we, throwing the cannonballs on English East India Company? This person, Mir Jafar, said, during yesterday's rainfall, all the cannonballs got wet. So we cannot bombard these cannonballs on the English East India Company. And at this particular point of time, this is my suggestion that you leave the battlefield. Otherwise, you will get killed. So Siraj-ud-Daulah had to leave the battlefield, and finally Battle of Plassey was in favor of English East India Company. English East India Company wanted to install a person on the seat of Nawab of Bengal who could work as a puppet for them. And now they found the right puppet in the form of Mir Jafar. Correct? So we will understand about the role of Mir Jafar when we'll study about the Battle of Buxar, which took place in 1764. And you cannot believe Mir Jafar had to pay a huge price to become the Nawab of Bengal. That actually broke the backbone of Bengal economy at that time. It is said that he paid huge sums of money, and he also promised that I'll be paying you more money in future. Plus, he gave the zamindari rights of 24 Parganas district to English East India Company to become the Nawab of Bengal. So after Battle of Plassey, Mir Jafar, he became the next Nawab of Bengal. So this was all about Battle of Plassey, and I have tried to explain the entire Battle of Plassey in the format of a story so that it becomes quite easier for the aspirants to understand things in a crystal clear manner. And hope so the Battle of Plassey was interesting. Okay, so this is all about the PDF. You can download the PDF of the entire Battle of Plassey from my Telegram channel, history_Alok Ojha. I repeat, history_Alok Ojha. Okay, my friends, StudyIQ IAS has come up with the GS Foundation P2I batch for 2027 and 2028. And the batch is going to start on 6th of June. It is an evening English batch. Now the batches are completely based on a SMART model. Completely based on a SMART model. Now what does the SMART model suggest? Structured classes. Like first of all, the basics would be taught to the aspirants. After basics, then we'll go for the foundation phase. After foundation phase, then we'll go for the advanced stage. Then after this, there would be a mentor who would be guiding you throughout your journey for civil services preparation. Like how to frame a proper timetable. How to maintain consistency during studies. Like initially what happens, students study for 7 to 8 hours on daily basis, but after some time, they start losing consistency. And UPSC examination is a complete game of consistency. Correct? So here, specifically, there would be a mentor who would be guiding you throughout your journey for civil services preparation. Another important key is assessment and the test. Like for example, you have prepared a lot. You have gained a lot of knowledge. But how will you gauge your competence? By going through PYQs, by going through MCQs, by going through proper weekly test, by going through proper answer writing practice. And your answers would be evaluated by a mentor. And he would be guiding you on all the aspects of answer writing and everything. And the most important aspect, revision plays a very key role. I usually keep on suggesting the aspirants, specifically on YouTube and paid classes, that it is better to read one book 10 times rather than reading 10 books. Students usually go for multiple sources. Like example, suppose we are going through modern Indian history. So students study Shekhar Bandopadhyay, then they study Bipan Chandra, B.L. Grover and Alka Mehta, Spectrum, and many other sources. Pick up one book, trust that, and read it multiple times. Because it won't be like, it is not possible to revise all these books during the time of examination. Isn't that so? It is not feasible. Because it's not just about history that you have to study. You have multiple subjects. History, geography, polity, economy, science and tech, current affairs, and different subjects. So it is better to read one book 10 times rather than reading 10 books. So go for consolidation of resources rather than going for multiplication of resources. Okay. So the batches, the price for the batches are at a very minimum, starting at a very minimum price of 11,999. The batches are starting on 6th of June. So use the code ALOK Live that is flashing on your screen to get the benefits of these batches. I repeat the code ALOK Live. The most important aspect, the batches are completely available in English medium. Like there is a complete separate batch in English. Like there's a separate batch for Hindi medium, there's a separate batch for bilingual, that is Hindi plus English. And there's a complete separate batch for English medium that will cater to the needs of the aspirants precisely from southern part of India and northeastern India. Okay? Because many of the aspirants face hurdles specifically, like we have multiple batches that are in bilingual and we have to opt out for a batches which are completely in English. So this will help you out. So the admissions, the admissions for the batches or the batch is going to start on 6th of June. Use the code ALOK Live that is flashing on your screen to get the benefits of these batches. Is that clear? In tomorrow's session, we are going to discuss third battle of Panipat sharp at 4 p.m. And again, tomorrow's session is very, very important from the exam perspective. Is that clear? So with this, I'll stop my words for the day. See you guys tomorrow. Thank you and have a very nice day. Bye-bye everyone. Jai Hind.